Okay, so I'm Cecilia Denton. My company's name is PTES Consulting. We do psychometric assessments in the workplace. And I just want to move this chat box to there. All right, so we do psychometric assessment in the workplace for when we recruit people. I want to say a very big thank you to the HR Talk, who is also a corporate organization who always organizes these webinars for us. So thank you for them. They always do a very good job setting out the links, getting everyone together, organizing it. So today you will see I'm going to talk on behalf of the Study Methods Academy, because that's a sister company of PTES Consulting that does psychometric assessment. So the Study Methods Academy is a business that focuses purely on study methods. It looks at how you want to study. We have assessments that look at how you want to study. That's what I'm going to focus on today, and I'm very excited to tell you all the secrets that's out there for how people can study. So just on the chat box quickly here, I see someone said I'm a parent, someone said I'm from a Hulaman, someone here mentioned looks like the chat is disabled. I'm a teacher from Saintsburg. Fantastic. I think I spoke with someone from Saintsburg last week or this week. All right, as long as you can hear me, I'm also going to share my screen and then to show you exactly what it is that we're going to do. I also want to share the website with you, which means that you can just go to the website at any time. Let me just see if I can get there. Right, okay. Can you see the website in front of you? So you can see this is the Study Methods Academy, and here we explain everything that we have. Our contact details are on here. Please just take note of the manual I'm going to send you. It still has an old email address on there. So please look at this website for the correct email, the correct website. We still need to update the manual. I'm sorry I haven't been able to do that. The guide is very nice and animated and all of that, so I still need to change that. All right, and on this website you will see what we are about. You can make bookings on here if you want to speak to us directly, if you want to have a one-on-one. The costs are very affordable. You pay online. It's quick, easy, simple. You can buy a test online that shows you how you want to study, but there's our contact details. So please browse around on this, have a look at this. Then I also just want to see furthermore where other people are from. So there's another person saying, yeah, I'm an HR intern from Durban. I work with the Education and Training Development Facility and was given this wonderful opportunity to help in my personal development. You will learn a lot from this. We are not just going to cover study methods. We're also going to look a little bit at the stress management, probably only next week, which is crucial to your study methods process. Then there's someone here saying that from Cape Town, business owner. Someone here says from Nelspruit, insurance claims technician. Okay, so we've got a little bit of everything and everyone here. So everyone may have a different need. Everyone may have different things that they are looking for. So please tell me in the chat box at any time as we go along what it is that you would like to know, what it is that you are unsure of, what it is that you want to learn more about. We are here to talk about this. And I think this is Henry, the one that always joins my my webinars. I think Henry, is it the same Henry? So I'm so glad to see you here again. You're going to learn a lot from this today. Okay, so please stop me as I go along. If there's anything that you want to see that I'm not covering, this is a very interactive session. I want you to participate because this is for you, whether you want to carry this message over to someone else or whether it's for you, it doesn't matter. There's also a lot of life skills things in here that you can use. Okay, there's someone that says, yeah, I do a lot of courses. I battle to remember. I can show you a very easy, simple way today to remember. It will work. If you try it, if you practice it, it will work. I want to start off by saying No, before I do that, I'm gonna start with that just now. I don't want to give away my secret so soon. So now the person said, yeah, I'm from Cape Town, working in upfront compliance. I'm starting up an online course called Compliance Management. Would like to learn a good technique to study. You will find that today. Believe it or not, it's really simple. The first thing I want to start off with, I know that a lot of you may not be high school students anymore. You may be a little bit older. You may be a little bit more confident. You may have more belief in yourself. But the first thing I want to start off with is to say, you need to clear your mind. You need to get your mind ready and say to yourself that you are good enough. You are good enough. You are not stupid. You are not slow. You just need to know what to do with the information that you're getting. I know that is the thing that everyone battles with, because they think I'm not so quick, I'm not so bright, I'm not so smart. Get those things out of your head. And now I want to give you a second exercise. Just a quick question I want to ask you. Put it in the chat box, please. Please tell me your favorite movie that you watched last week, the last 6 months, in the last year, in the last 5 years. Put down your most favorite movie, or the one that you enjoyed the most, one that you remembered the most, whichever. Please put it down in the chat box. We're going to talk about that now. So something that I often think about, and it's my usual, I can probably, if I think of the movie Titanic, I know it's corny because it's like all a cute love story, whatever. I think I watched it years ago, like 15, 20 years ago. And I can still remember it. So someone here says The Proposal by Sandra Bullock. Yes, and that's an old one, isn't it? And you can still remember it. You still remember who played the leading role. I'm sure you can still remember the thread of the story. Maybe some of the details are rusty. If you had to watch it again, you'd enjoy it now, because now you're remembering all the things, all the details again. That's why it's sometimes nice to rewatch a movie. Then there's someone that said, yes, Speed, Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves. Absolutely. What is my favorite with Keanu Reeves is Point Break. Oh my word. It's old. I think I watched it 30 years ago, if not more. I'm giving away my age since I left high school. But Point Break was very good with Keanu Reeves. Also good lessons in there. Okay, anyone else can think of a movie that they can still remember today? Because I want you to think about this. You can remember the movie, and you can remember the common thread in the movie. You can remember the storyline in the movie. Yes, some of the details are rusty. If you had to watch the movie again, you'd be, I forgot about that scene. That was so cool. Or someone else said, yeah, The Notebook from Nicholas Sparks. Absolutely, very good one. Also from a few years back. So tell me, why can you remember these movies? But when you study something last night or 2 days or 3 days ago, you can't remember the details. And in some cases, you can't remember anything. So tell me, why is it possible that you can remember this, but you can't remember what you studied? Did you study the movie? None of you studied The Proposal or Speed or Titanic. Titanic, is it? Yes. None of you studied it, did you? But you can still remember it. So what I'm trying to tell you is there's a way to get information in your head flawlessly, effortlessly. Please don't think of me who's sitting here as a brain surgeon or someone that must be very clever or who did very well, obviously, so learning came easy to her. It actually didn't. I did poorly in school. I don't know how I passed. I had concentration issues. I was distracted. I didn't know what to do, how to do it. I think my planning was pretty well because I really wanted to learn. I just didn't know what I was doing. So someone here says that the movie that I can remember is visual. It raised my emotional and adrenaline levels. Speed is, of course, high octane. Yes. So that's why you can remember it. Someone else here said Selena with Jennifer Lopez. Okay. So there's a way that you can remember things using the existing structures in your brain. And so I just want to get back to the fact that I was just saying right now, I'm not someone with a photographic memory or who could remember very easily. So what I did when I was in my 20s, I started studying part-time, and I had to get a way to get information into my head very quickly, very efficiently, in a short time span, and I had to remember. It was strange because it was very different from school. So someone else said Top Gun. I did a movie review. Oh, yes, love Top Gun. And then there's the new one. So absolutely. Okay, so my concentration was also not great. So I want to also tell people, if you know that you are distracted easily, you've got concentration problems, even if you think you're normal, it doesn't matter. Anyone can use these techniques and it will work for you. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to keep an eye on the time. Today, I'm going to get to the point. I'm going to tell you the crux of this matter. Okay, so let's start with, this is the manual that you're going to receive, so that's why I'm going through the manual with you. So the content is about, let's first start with how to study and summarize using visualization. So today I'm going to look at the options for you to make a summary. I'm actually going to focus only on two. The storytelling part, you can fit that in anywhere, but the most important thing I'm going to look at is structured and unstructured summary techniques. Maybe we'll cover a little bit of motivation and bad habits, concentration, but what we will be doing next week is going to be the physiological makeup of the brain. If we don't get to it today, we will look at the stress, the effects of stress. But today, definitely, we will look at the structured summary technique, the visualization, and then planning, because the three goes hand in hand. I want to show you how the planning can affect your long-term memory, as well as your short-term memory, how it interlinks. Okay, so let's get to the point. So firstly, Tony Buzan said, Tony Buzan is also someone, if you want to research their stuff, it's very well researched, very good. Learning how to learn is life's most important skill. So that's really true. Don't think because you're a little bit slower or can't remember that you're stupid. Get it out of your head. You're just not doing it correctly. That whole thing of you're not as bright as the one next is nonsense. You need to just direct your concentration into the right direction. So this just says this book is just a way to get yourself structured, and it's a guideline. It won't replace hard work, however. You're still going to put in a lot of hard work, but at least it's going to be more efficient and effective. Okay, so how this manual works, you'll see at the front of every chapter, there is a part that says how to study and summarize. It's actually a self-evaluation section. So this will cover how to study and summarize using visualization. So it's going to ask you things about what are you currently doing to get you thinking whether you're on the right track, what you have in place and what not. Then we're going to start looking at structured learning and unstructured. That's just my own name that I made up for the two types. Storytelling is a third one, but storytelling is something that you could fit inside your structured learning methods. But I want to focus on the biggest points. Then Einstein was asked once, how does he study? And he said, I use pictures and I use images. So even him, he didn't focus on the paragraphs and words. And that's what we do. We take the handbook and you focus on the paragraphs and the words and the long, lengthy parts, which is too overwhelming for the brain. I'm sure there's one or two people who's got a more of a photographic memory who can read something and remember it. Majority of us are not really like that. So don't want to be like that. It doesn't matter. You get your own style, and this is what I'm going to show you now. So this would be the structured technique. I just want to make sure that it fits in the thing that you can see it. So this would be a structured summary technique. Can you see that it forms like an organogram? It's got the heading, subheadings, and the contents of the subheadings. So I just simplified this very much to illustrate the point, but this is a structured way. And now I want to jump to the unstructured picture. I just want to jump there quickly and show you what it looks like. All of you must have seen a mind map before. So this is what a mind map looks like. So can you see also in the middle, in the center, it's got the heading, and it's got the subheadings, which is the thicker tentacles here. And then the content of the subheadings is in the endpoints. Can you see it's the same as the organogram? It's just more creative. It's just more different, very much creative. Now, if I look at this, it's not attractive to me. I don't like it. I like the structured, more organized version. But you will know immediately if you look at it which one you like. Don't do what I say. Do what it is that you like, what you see here. But from now on, what we are going to do, and we're going to do a practice example, you're going to take pages that looks like this. Get rid of pages with lines on it, with any distractions. Blank papers, your typing pages. That's what you want to get from now on. Go buy a whole big box of this. Together with that, get a few color pens, things like that. But this is what your study sheet is going to look like now. Not like that even. Well, you can change it if you want to, but there's a reason why I'm doing it like this. So what I'm going to do to illustrate my point is I'm going to work from the structured summary technique. But remember now, you're going to do exactly the same as I'm going to illustrate for the structured summary technique. If you choose this one, the unstructured one, that's a mind map, you're just going to apply all the principles into this example. Okay, so you can put in the chat box if there's any one of you who has got a specific preference. What looked more attractive to you immediately when you looked at it? So tell us in the chat box who likes what. Okay, so now before I get to the most important point, I just want to go through the principles of what your summary techniques are going to look like now. So you'll see I'm not going to waste a lot of time of talking about other stuff. What I'm talking about now is I'm going to get to the point in how to make your summary. So let me just see if I answered everyone's questions. So someone said, will you be sharing the recording as well? Absolutely. So you can play this to anyone who needs to hear it. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick overview of how to make a one-pager summary. So firstly, I'm going to refer to a handbook and chapters. I know that the documentation that people have nowadays is maybe from various sources, but make up your own chapters. Make up your own chapters, organize your own work. If you don't have a specific handbook, put it together yourself. Okay, someone says, I prefer the structured summary. Someone said, I've been doing the unstructured forever, but I just realized I actually like the structured one. Definitely more appealing. Yes, because I know that Tony Buser and they like the mind map. They don't have another option, and I don't like the mind map. I don't even know what the hell is going on there. So, like, I'm thinking, my Lord, now I have to go from all this data to this chaotic thing. But that's just my preference. You can now make your summary any way that you like. Know that you've got flexibility in there. Relax your mind and your shoulders and stop thinking that there's one way of doing things and I have to cram it into my head. I want you to relax the way that you would when you watched the movie Titanic or Speed or whatever. So please just relax and just take the information in. Okay, so firstly, I'm not going to refer to chapters in a handbook just for simplification. So firstly, you get an overview of your whole chapter. So let's say chapter 1. In this case, my example is fruit. So break the chapter down into understandable headings with subheadings. So as you go through the chapter, circle, this is the heading of the chapter. Circle, as you go through the chapter, what are the subheadings? You'll clearly see there's usually 4 or 5, maybe there's 2, maybe there's 6. Circle it. Now you already know what your whole chapter is about. In this case, it's now fruit. Use only one word for a heading and one word for the subheadings. Keep it short, clean, and neat. Practice this as well because you're going to feel like, yeah, but I want to write out sentences. The more you practice, the shorter it will get. You have to practice it. Every one chapter gets 1 page. Try and keep to 1 chapter per page. I know you're going to tell me this is impossible. It is so possible. Just open your mind to it, make it short. As soon as you've got an overview, you already know what's going on there. I'm going to show you the trick of visualization that will make you'll understand everything that's going on here once I get to that point. So just take it in what I'm saying. So every chapter gets 1 page. Use a blank page with no lines, the type we print on. Look at the beginning and the ending of paragraphs. That's now the contents. So remember now you've got your heading, you've got your subheadings. Now try and just identify in your chapter where are the most important information in the contents under my subheading that they want me to see or know about. Look at bold and cursive printed words. Then when you write it down on your piece of paper, align all your headings. Align it like it was here. Can you see you had your main heading is fruit, then you've got your subheadings and then the contents under that. So align it, make it neat. The brain likes to have it simplified. Use only capital letters. I don't always use just capital letters, maybe for the main headings, but it goes into the mind easier. Just for another note, apparently red is not a good color to use. Research has some issues with that. If they say don't use red, don't use it. Maybe it indicates fear or something. But use any other color. So you can use color when you highlight your heading, for example, in blue. Do not only see your heading, but also imagine the color blue in your mind. For instance, if you see the word fruit and see it in blue, that you've colored it in. So use pictures. The more comfortable you're going to get with the summaries. At some point, I didn't even write down subheadings anymore. If it said apple, I would just draw an apple. I wouldn't even write up. But that's not when I got very confident and easy with this. Make use of rhymes to remember keywords. Think of visual cues. See an actual apple or banana or a grape. Use your imagination. You could also see the apple with a healthy badge on it, climbing into a jar of jelly or climbing into a piece of it. What I want you to do is just relax your shoulders and see what it is that you're writing down on your page. Use acronyms and acrostics for rhymes. I only do this when I really can't get something into my head. So that would be, for instance, highlight the first letter of your heading or in the content. So that would mean if I look at this, I really only do this if I can't remember something. If I look at here, I wrote down apples, pears, and bananas. You can, if you can't remember something, make a rhyme with the A from the apple, the P from the pear, or the B from banana. Or you can make a sentence with apples, pears, and bananas. So that's what acronyms and acrostics means. Then use pictures. The crazier and the funnier they are, the easier it is to remember. Now, you will just now see when I do the visualization exercise with you, how well this works. So a lot of time people say, yeah, but now I have to remember the bloody apple as well. Oh, now I have to remember the picture as well on top of the word. There is a reasoning behind it. Okay, so remember to not only learn this, but to visualize. But we're going to get to the visualization now because I'm going to show it to you practically how to do it. So we'll get back to the visualization. Then create associations. Every time when you write down something, it must have an association with the previous point and the second point, and form an association and a story. Because what we do when we panic and we try to remember, we'll say fruit, 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 apples, pears, bananas, but you sort of try to memorize it and remember it in isolation. So you'll say apple, 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 apple. What you want to do is to relax and not try to remember the word apple. Try to remember, what does apple have to do with fruits? What does apple have to do with the other headings? What does apple have to do with the contents of the apple? What does apple mean? What does it do? See the association. See how it links to each other. Stop trying to remember President Bush, 1980. That is when it really doesn't work. Then write in sequence. You want to create a storyline. The first fact should trigger the thought of the next fact. Do that as far as you possibly can. Understand every keyword and all summaries. Memorizing facts that you don't understand, will only lead to a waste of time. Have you seen that if you don't understand something and you're trying to memorize it, it just doesn't work? Okay, so then don't just make summaries, memorize the summary too. Now I'm going to show you the trick of visualization. Let me just see if I covered everything. So these would be your principles. I went through the principles of things that you need to do when you're now using your blank page. Okay, now I'm going to show you the trick of visualization. This is my big story. Okay, so whether you do this or the mind map, you're going to do it in the same way. Let me just see in the chat. I also never liked the mind map method, but someone close to me only used mind maps. I had so many of them, and seeing those many mind maps look so cluttered. Yes, it feels cluttered. If you don't find the mind map attractive, it will put you off so badly from summarizing. You'll just go into a panic and rewrite your whole book again. So this I found, I researched this. I got a lot of these tips from the University of South Africa. So really, I didn't create any of this. I did a lot of research, and the visualization, I don't even know where that came from. Whatever. I did it, and I think also a little bit of the University of South Africa. So, okay, this is how you're going to visualize it. This part is crucial. So firstly, you take your blank page, and remember, you're going to have a little file or a folder. So say your chapter's got 10 chapters. You want to take every single page, file it into that folder, purely because, believe me, if you've got 50 pages like this, 50, 25, or whatever, and this gets mixed up, you're in a worse situation than you were before. So just be organized. I firstly number every single page. So in the corner, I'll put a little number 1 because that's my page 1. Then in the middle of my page at the top, I will write my main heading, which is fruit. So I think it's going to be swapped around. I don't know if you can see it. It's going to be swapped around if I show it to you now on the page. But in the top middle, just like you have it on this page, I write fruit. Then I make my organogram, and I put there apples. For this example, I'll just write out the word apples. The next one is pears. The next one is bananas. Okay, bananas. Right. So this is what my summary looks like. I don't know if you can really see it. But anyway, I think you get the idea. You write it down like that. Now you've got an idea. This is page 1. In the middle, at the top, I wrote down fruits because the chapter is about fruits. Then I wrote down apples, pears, and bananas. This is what it's all about. So I'm getting an idea of what my chapter is about. Now I'm going to investigate under apples. In my handbook, I'm going to go into the details. What are apples? What do they want me to know about apples? So in this simplified version, it says I can make jam with it. The second one says I can make juice with it. So I write down my details as short, as sweet as I possibly can. Try to practice this. Well, I can remember I think I was 12 years old. The teacher told me, write down one word and you'll remember everything. And I thought, if she just explained a little bit more what she meant, because I thought she's crazy. Now what I understand it as, that one word I write down is my trigger for the whole situation. So if I write down jam, what does jam mean? If I close my eyes, what does jam mean in connection with apples? What does it mean in connection with juice? What does it tell me? What does it mean? So it felt to me like she told me that time, write down one word and that's it. Like jam. I'm supposed to remember jam now. I think what it taught me is to create an association, an understanding of what apples mean. What do they want me to know and remember? So now we're going to do visualization. So can you see what I wrote there? Okay, so I want you all to close your eyes. There where you're sitting. Where you are sitting now, please close your eyes. Oh, okay, they say my image is not inverted. You can see it. Okay, so can you see the note? I know it's very, it's not so bright, but you get the idea. So close your eyes there where you're sitting. Close your eyes. Visualize that piece of paper that I just showed in front of you. Visualize a little number 1, because that was page 1 in the top right-hand corner. Now, close your eyes. Visualize the word fruit that I write in the middle top, because my chapter is about fruit. Now visualize, literally see it where it is on the page, where I wrote down apples, pears, and bananas. Literally see the way that I wrote the word apple. See how I wrote it. Did I put a circle around it? Did I put it in a block? Did I highlight it in green? Did I draw an apple? Whatever. Visually see what I wrote down there. Now, visually try to see. Don't try and remember. See, what did I write down underneath apples? There I wrote down jam and I wrote down juice. Now, obviously, in reality, you're going to have a lot of more contents there, but it doesn't matter. If you close your eyes, you can visually see what you wrote on that page. Who of you were able to visualize what it is that I wrote down on that piece of paper. Without learning, without memorizing, because I didn't really give you time. You just closed your eyes and you saw where I wrote it on the page. Who of you were able to just see fruits? Who were able to see apples, pears, bananas, and then the content under apples, which is jam and juice, the two J's, JJs. Who were able to see it while closing their eyes? Okay, so someone said they could see it, yes. Anyone else that could see it? Let me see. Okay, people are saying that they can see it. Okay, let's continue. So we're not finished yet, because everyone said they were able to visualize it, yes. Right, so that's just the start of it. Now, what you're going to do is go back to your handbook and you're going to go under the heading that you circled, pears. You're going to write down or circle all the important parts about pears that they want us to know. So in this case, I put their cake and I put their tarts. You can see I didn't know what to write down anymore, so I just pulled that out of my ears. So, all right, so now before you continue, because now I've written down everything about pears, I want all of you right there where you're sitting, close your eyes again. Just close your eyes, relax. Don't try to think, don't try to remember. With absolute ease, just see what I put down on the page. The little number 1 in the right-hand top corner, I've got fruits in the middle. This is how I circled it. I drew a block over it. I go down with my little organogram. I can see apples, pears, bananas very clearly. Visualize, see the A for the apple, see the P for pears, and the fat B for bananas. What did I write down underneath apples? I put the JJs, jam and juice. What did I write down under pears? There were cakes and tarts. Okay, just relax. How many of you were able to visualize that? And we're not even finished yet. So how did that second part of closing your eyes, how did that go? And whether you close your eyes or not, even if you stare into a wall and you just forget about everything and you just see your piece of paper, what you wrote down where. Let me see. Okay, so more people are saying they could see it. They could see it, yes. So now only are we going to bananas. You go back to your handbook, circle all the important parts about bananas that they want you to know. Doesn't matter how much it is, if it's a lot of stuff. In this case, what I wrote down here is banana loaf, banana that's dried. And you know what? I can see more associations here. Because if I look at loaf sort of speaks to the cakes and the tarts on the other side. It's not exactly the same, but there is an association. So there's similar things going on there. And so what I can still do with bananas, I can dry it, whatever. So now I'm putting that down. Now for the third time, I want you to close your eyes, totally relax your shoulders. Just easy, with absolute ease. Just the way that you can see Kate Winslet's face from Titanic from 20 years ago. Just see your page. Just relax your shoulders. Just relax. Don't try and remember. See the little 1 at the top right-hand corner. Fruits in the middle of the page. You go down with your little organogram. There were 3 things. The one was apples. The one was pears. The one were bananas. What I said under apples, the JJs. There were jam and juice. What I had under pears. And remember, don't rush it. Don't think that you need to recall these things quickly. Stop with that as well, because that's the thing that makes us think we can't remember. With ease, what did I put under pears? Just easily think about it. Don't open your eyes. There was something about cakes. There was something about tarts. And then visualize and see bananas. So what were bananas? Bananas, there was something similar to cakes and tarts, but it was a little different. It was a loaf. And then there was something totally different that I can do with bananas, and that was dried bananas. Can you see that if you just relax and see it, it's already there. You don't have to try and remember it. So what we do is we know it already. What we try to do when we try to remember, we bypass the whole thing and we try and remember and grab the information in a panic. It doesn't come to us easily. We missed it. It's already here. The movie has already been recorded. And remember, you may go back and try and visualize, and some things may be rusty. You may think, oh, pears, what was that last one? What was the last one? That's fine. You must stop thinking, I can't remember because I'm stupid. You must stop that. It is there. Just give yourself some time to recall. Give yourself time to recall, time to recall. So this last round, who is able to recall it simply? Okay. Okay, so someone says this hand is raised. Okay, so can you see that it comes easily to you? Now, the fact that we're going back constantly, it's putting it into the long-term memory. So if you skip this phase in this summary, it's the same as learning. Then you are going back to the long, hard, tough way. So what you want to do is you want to relax, repeat. So I'm quickly going to touch on the study time limits. I need to do this because it's quite important. It's actually at the end part of the manual. So you're only supposed to study never ever longer than 15 minutes at a time. But I always say 45 minutes with a 15 minutes break, or you can do 50 minutes with a 10 minutes break. Depends on you. If it's young students and children, give them half an hour, 5 minutes break, half an hour, 5 minutes break. Adults can do 15 minutes. I like 45 minutes with a 15 minutes break. I like that cycle. It's also easy to track because it ends on the hour constantly, so you can track it easily. The reason why I'm mentioning this is every time when you start again, you quickly want to close your eyes and recall what you just did now, then you want to continue. So every time when you've had a break, you want to quickly recall again. And you can make as many summaries like this as you wish. In say, for example, you set out a Saturday to do this. The more short cycles you have, the better. You'll see that you probably have to do less on the Saturday than usual because you're more effective. You might not have to sit from 8 to 8 or 10 o'clock until 5 o'clock in the day because your little cycles were so efficient. You may need to do less than you would have normally. But remember to quickly review long-term memory. Now, the reason why I wanted to also quickly look at the planning, because the planning also slots in with this. All right, so now I've given you the way to make the summary, that your organogram, your visualization, going back constantly back. And you will find yourself falling back into your old habit every time where you try and remember, and I'm holding on for dear life. Just remind yourself of this again. So this is the principles. This is the visualization part. So if you need to refer back to this, you can. But I want to jump to the planning and organizing. Let me just see the time. Okay. We really have time for the planning, organizing, because you'll see now there's a reason why I'm going to do this. It goes hand in hand. Nothing is in isolation. Let me see, where's the planning? There's all sorts of tips here. There's general tips on answering the question paper. We're not going to look at that now. Okay, planning, organizing, and time management. So firstly, you can fill in your self-evaluation questionnaire and you can see how good are you at your planning. Then you want to start with a year planner. You're going to have actually 3 planners. You're going to have a year planner, a pre-exam planner, and then the planner for when you are in the exam. So if you are someone with exams, it's not like a school or whatever, the setup is a little bit different. Adjust your planners according to what you are doing now. But I want to show you a year planner. So you know those nice big plastic, it's huge calendars that you get at Pick n Pay or Checkers with a code key with it. It's fantastic. You can write on it. You put it on your wall. It's nice and big. You can rub out. That is a typical year planner. So what you want to typically do is now you can see visually what you have for the whole year. So if you know the exams are starting in June, you want to start doing your planning from May already. So you can see visually what must I do when and where. So I have to keep out the May, June blocks. And I may need to keep out the November, December blocks or October, November, whatever. So visually, you can see what's going on. I am mentioning this because visually, it plays a trick psychologically on our minds. When we feel overwhelmed, it's because we think of all the things that we need to do. But as soon as you've broken it up into clusters, it clears you of that overwhelming feeling. So play the psychological tricks on yourself as well. Any mortal human being will get overwhelmed, tired, think they don't know where to start. Those are all behavioral types of stressors, and you can combat it if you do very good planning. Even if you say, but I'm a disorganized person, I don't like planning. Me too. So there's no excuse. I'm also disorganized and planned. The planning will help you. So you've got no excuse. Just for this one time in your life, put a little thing on paper. So I always tell students, how successful do you want to be? It depends on you. If you want to go get this, if you want to go do this thing, it's up to you. So right, I'm going to explain to you. Can you see? This is the short. You had your year planner. Now you've got two short-term planners. So this is the pre-exam planner, and down here you can see this is the planner while you are in the exam. Okay, so I just want to go to the pre-planner, and I just want to highlight it like this. Okay, so when the person did this book for us with all the nice little pictures and stuff, they actually took out all my coloring here and my creative little things that I had in here. So it looks pretty boring, but you can make it interesting for you. I don't take calendar days. I make my own schedule. I call it day 1, day 2, day 3, up until 20 days. So depending on how many days I need before my exam starts. So you can make it more, you can make it less. It depends on how much work you have. So what you literally want to do is you want to take your amount of books and work that you have. You want to take post-it notes, and you want to literally go through the book and say, I have maths, page 1 to 19, I will be doing on day 1. I'm going to combine it with science, page 1 to 14. You will notice that I'm not saying chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, because one chapter may be 5 pages, another 50 pages. Then your whole planner is out. You want to take one whole day, spend it on your planning of what you are going to do when, and what I'm doing here is I want you to put in enough time to do the summaries the way that I showed you with the visualization like I showed you. And you're going to need time for that. You don't just need one day before you do the actual exam. Count the days back that you need to be able to complete all your work. So you take all your subjects, take it page by page, put post-it notes in it and say, day 1, I'm going to do page 1 to 19. By day 2, I'm going to do page 20 to 34. Whatever, but you break it in very realistically and very practically. The other thing that people do is they're unrealistic. They forget about the fact that I've got part-time activities, I still have homework as well, I've got normal work, I've got children, I've got this and I've got that. They put this as if they're in a perfect world. You need to be very, very realistic, make it very easy for yourself, because remember, you will be tired as well. So you want to keep it realistic so that you don't start demotivating yourself. So little bits by little bits every day. You can do one subject per day, or you can combine things. It depends on if you're someone who gets bored quickly. I like to do one thing and get it over with, move on to the next. Some people like to combine, mix it up. Find out who you are. Ask yourself, what is it that you like? What do I want to do? So you will see now every day is slotted in. I also have planned rest days. Do not underestimate the amount of rest that you need. People are always, this is the first thing they throw out of the window. It's probably the most important thing. Also have little reward schemes for yourself. If you can keep at your schedule for 5 days of the week, you can take the whole Friday evening off, or you can take the whole Saturday off, but reward yourself and stick to your reward. Those little rewards, as silly as it sounds, it makes a difference. Have you ever found that when you need to do a lot of work, then you somewhere list to go and pack your cupboards? You want to clean out the plastic cupboard drawer in the kitchen. Maybe, I don't know if that's just women or men as well, or they want to go wash the car, or they'll do anything except that they want to do, yeah. So they just, if you do that, it's just like you just procrastinate or postpone, because it's a behavioral type of stress. But do those little things maybe within your rest periods, but just focus for the short period of time and reward yourself. Have your small breaks in between, especially when you spoke about rest, stress management the other day. There's people that actually indicate that they are feeling almost more burnt out now. So if you're at that point as well, the more breaks, the better. So you can still continue as you are, but more breaks, and mindful breaks where you really rest. Okay, now I want to get to the point of how are we going to link this to the long-term memory? So when I know that scientific research has shown, and I read this from the University of South Africa, that if you repeat what you did day 2, you repeat everything that you did on day 1, it also embeds it into the long-term memory. So remember, I'm doing it. I showed you guys now to constantly go back, constantly repeat, constantly go back as you were busy with your little page. So repeat, Ned. Every hour when you take your break, when I go back, I quickly repeat. Every day after I've done my before I want to start studying again, I quickly just repeat what I did the day before. That goes into the long-term memory. So if you skip those parts, it's going to be very difficult for you when you get to your second roster. Can you see this one is 3 weeks? When you get to your second roster, which is I just want to move it up. Oh my gosh. I just want to go to the second roster. So can you see this is table 3. This is the second roster. So you may ask me, but how am I going to remember stuff here that I studied 3 weeks ago? It's through all of those techniques that I showed you, the visualization. So day 2 here, I'm doing history. So I'm not learning any new things. I'm taking out my little folder with my little file with my organograms in it. I only take that out and I visualize my 10 or 15 pages that I studied 3 days before. Remember that you will feel rusty on certain areas. If you had to think back now about Titanic or Speed or The Proposal, you can remember the storyline, but some things may be vague. But when you see it again, you'll go, I forgot about it. You're just going to polish this day. You're going to polish, dust it off. It is still there and it will remain there. And if you dust it off, even that morning before you do the actual exam, if you get up earlier and you just visualize every single page again, no new notes, no new information, you just visualize that again, you will be amazed at how you remember everything. And please give yourself just a minute to recall these things. I know that I also used to say, oh my God, I can't remember a single thing. And then you go into a flat spin. And remember, next week we are going to do the stress management. I'm going to show you the effect on the dendrites that's carrying the messages through that happens when you go blank. So I'm going to show you when you go into a panic like that, the effect that it's got on the brain and the dendrites. That's why you go blank. Now you're thinking, I can't remember a single thing. It's just your stress management. It's still there. But you need to learn not to panic because otherwise the message can't get through. Let me just quickly see in the chat box. There's a story here. Someone that I know has a fear of learning because they have been told that they have a learning disability. And because they believe that and embrace that, they are so afraid to take on any type of learning method because they label themselves as having a disability. You use the word relax. That is a good way to encourage them to forget about the label, I think. This is also what we call learned helplessness. It does happen in this society when you are so convinced you're not that bright. You are so convinced you are stupid. You've told it to yourself so many times. Other people misunderstood you and labeled you as that. The majority of us can get better at what it is that we do because you are born with an IQ that's fixed. Within that, we all have a natural learning cognitive capacity. That's the thing you can expand. Although your IQ is fixed, you can still really function to your absolute cognitive capacity, which is your absolute best. You can really still expand. But if you believe that you can't, then you are your worst enemy. So this is sad when I read this because it's probably not true. If this person was in a normal school, maybe struggled a little bit, I think if you even go into the story a little bit, you'll see where things have gone wrong. If the support was not there, the majority of people think they can't do it. The majority of people think that they will be poor forever. The majority of people think that they can't remember. Then why can you remember the Titanic that you watched 20 years ago? It's a good question, and you can remember it. So let me just see. We've got 10 minutes left. Is there anything that I want to cover here? So let me just recap on this last calendar. This is the part where you relax the most. So this is usually the part where people think, oh my goodness, my child is not learning because now they're just resting. They're just going over their notes. This is how it's supposed to be. Because if you did everything, all the hard work happened in this top calendar here. All the hard work happened here. The making the note, the putting the effort into the visualization, repeating. And you saw now, it's not effort. Was it? Did you think it was effort? Did any one of you think it was effort to just sit back, relax, breathe deeply, let the blood flow through your veins to put the oxygen in your brain? Next week, we will also touch on healthy habits while you are learning. So now already you can go shop for lemon verbena. Lemon verbena is an essential oil, like your lavenders and your chamomiles. It's at all the health shops. Burn it. It really optimizes your concentration. If you drink water constantly, the water ensures oxygen to the brain. So even if you don't feel it, you are actually staying at an optimal level. This is the other thing. You have to stick to your 50 or your 45 minutes learning and then taking a break, because without you knowing it, the brain is getting more tired. So you may not be aware of these things. So people did studies on these things. So just believe it and follow the tips that they're giving you. They've done the studies on it already. Then also, if you chew bubble gum, the rhythm of the chewing the bubble gum has scientifically been proven to aid concentration. I didn't read on like the whys and the hows and whatever, but I thought, hey, if they say throw in a packet of bubble gum, who am I to question it? Really, it just keeps you busy, man. Do something fun. Enjoy your learning process. If they say throw in the water, throw in the nuts for protein, throw in a bubble gum here, have your little light shine on your desk where you can properly see, have ventilation so that there's a little bit of air coming in, have your papers ready, have your cokies ready, have your lemon verbena in your candle burner ready. The other thing is try to learn and practice how to study with Baroque music. Baroque music has been scientifically proven to calm you down while at the same time optimize your concentration. To listen to Baroque music, someone anyway during the day in your house is also beneficial for you. It's got a very good effect on you. And if you have to practice it also a little bit to get used to the distraction, you may think in the beginning it's a distraction, practice it. Don't just walk around the block once. I always say this in my stress management course, don't walk around the block once and think you're going to be fit. Do it repeatedly, get into it, enjoy it. I never thought that you could enjoy a study process, but you can. The other thing that you need to do when you draw up your calendars, draw it up, write all the things that you're going to do per day in different colors. As you complete a day successfully, cross it out, you will not believe the effect that visual encouragement has on your brain. The fact that because remember, you're getting more tired. That thing is showing you your progress. That's going up. You may be feeling more tired and exhausted, even a little negative, demotivated. Your progress monitor is going to keep your levels high. Unfortunately, these things have a psychological impact on our brain. If we think I have to get through all of this work and you don't break it down into eatable, sizable pieces, you're going to feel overwhelmed. So play the game. Get into it, play the game with it, play with it. Okay, so let me know if you've got any questions. Was there any questions about the summary technique, the visualization technique, the calendar? Do you understand how the calendar plays in with the long-term memory, how you need to do certain things to keep yourself optimal? While you are typing questions for me, next week we will do the whole stress management course, the motivation, how to optimize concentration, the effect of all of these things on your brain, and how you can optimize your brain. Because if you know how your brain works, you can actually manage it well. You will be able to keep it where it is, and you'll realize you're not the only one. We all question ourselves. We all get worried. We all get scared. We all think we're not going to make it. It's very normal, but get yourself ready. Get yourself ready for what it is that you want to do. Okay, so someone said, excellent presentation. Thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I've done I've applied these principles myself, so I didn't read it in a book and now I'm trying to sell it to you. My concentration is so bad. I can barely read a sentence without having to reread it 20 times. And still, the technique worked for me. So practice it, try it, practice it in the meantime. Next week when I see you again, you can tell me what worked for you, what did not work, what are you still struggling with. But the only thing I can tell you, keep at it, practice it, keep at it, walk around the block more than once. Yes, there will be a recording of the presentation. I'd like to watch it at home without work distractions. Yes, you can get that from the HR talk. I will get the presentation from them as well. So you can email me or you can email the HR talk. My email is in the chat box. Let me just see if it's still there. My email is, let me see if I can I put it in here again. So please email info@studymethodsacademy.com. So info@studymethodsacademy.com. Or you can ask the HR Touch just to put you in touch with me as well. I've got lots of emails. You can email PTS Consulting or Study Methods Academy, or you can just phone me or whatever. I will make this handbook available for you. Please note that I think the email, I just want to check that. I don't know if the email on this manual has been changed yet. Let me just see. Yes, so it's not study guidance anymore. The phone number is correct, but it's now info@studymethods at studymethodsacademy.com. So we still need to change this because we optimized everything. So please don't use this email address. It's going to bounce back. Okay, but you are welcome to get the presentation. All right, so I learned so much, and I'm already recognizing bad study habits from my students, and I don't even know can slow them, can slow them down. Yes, please go through this manual step by step. You can even print it out or whatever, and they can fill in the self-evaluation parts. Remember, also on our website, we've got the study preference test that shows you how you want to study according to your personality preferences. So thank you. I'm excited to work on this. I have 2 exams to prepare for. Yes. So especially if you want to learn, follow this route. It's flawless. Really, it is. If you are someone who can remember a movie, then you can remember this. Then it means there's nothing wrong with you. I can tell you now there's nothing wrong with no one. People just think that they can't. They think they can't learn, and it's nonsense. Okay, great. Please let me see you next week again. Next week, same time, Wednesday morning. That second part is very important. It's the stress management part. Please join it. It's very crucial for you to know. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to see you next week. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.